left. The prayer is atomized, disintegrated in a zephyr that pulls him apart like snow. The last of him to disappear are his eyes, glowing and white. His hand, the one that was just touching your shoulder a fraction of a second ago, is gone. And underneath, your skin begins to petrify. Amalia, roll a Constitution saving throw that you must crit to succeed.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
Oh boy!
Do I have this?
Do you what?
I'm just double checking where or no I have a thing for this. I don't think I do, but you never know.
You've got a reroll.
Yeah, I have a.
You also have Bless, not that that'll help much.
It's instant. Yeah, you can't cast it as in, like, this is currently happening.
I know I have Bless on me as part of Cycle's thing.
Oh. Well, that big old D20, Buster.
Yeah, I guess we die.
It's gonna be a crit.
I
Knowing
guess we
you.
roll. I guess we roll first.
Well, it
You
was
were right.
technically a crit.
Yeah, let's re-roll that.
Lend me your energy.
Alright, do we have about 19 rerolls? Because I think we can get there.
Let me know when
Who's
you
not
guys are
using
done.
theirs at the moment? Did I just volunteer myself?
Yes.
Okay, fine. Take my reroll.
Sure.
20, 20, 20,
So
20.
early into the game.
Closer.
Search? Can you search?
No,
It's gotta be a nat, right?
Yep.
Alright, I'm not gonna eat everyone's rerolls. Does anyone want to give me one more and then that's it?
I don't really want to, like... I might need mine.
That's cringe.
You'll definitely need yours.
We all know Virgil
I'm a
is
good friend.
Yeah.
fragile, so
Yeah. You know what? You'll be fine, Amalia. This probably doesn't kill you. Amalia, whatever doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Don't worry about it. Just roll with the punches. Gosh. Simply put, you'll be fine.
the reroll. Hand it over.
Hey, DM, what's a 17 get our good old friend Amalia?
Are we taking the 17?
I mean, is anyone else giving up their rerolls?
Alright, Amalia, you take a critical wound. 4 levels of harm. You have no
Yeesh.
That's fine.
You have no sensory function other than sight, which immediately whites out the individuals and structures in your vision, only vague outlines blasted by a blinding light from within. After a moment, even that vanishes. No sight, no scent, no taste, no touch, no sound, no weight, no thought. Everything is gone. You doing anything? Maybe a feature?
Are you doing anything after that? Know that you can't do anything?
looking for I think it's called hard-headed.
That forces me to stay. That forces me to stay at 5, but I'm at 5.
The broken arm is 2.
The broken arm is 1.
Okay, alright, you don't even need to use hard-headed. Pog. Let me reiterate then. The individuals and structures in your vision, only vague outlines, are now being blasted by a blinding light from within. After a moment, even that vanishes. No sight, no scent, no taste, no touch, no sound, no weight, etc. Even your thoughts start to thin, your grasp on them loosening incredibly. But then, new ones begin to rush in. The sounds of rushing water far off. Voices sing in an imperfect, childlike choir, like students playing in a field. Hymns ring throughout hollowed buildings. Stones chisel and scrape, wind blows sand into drifts. Hallways yawn and meander. A language that feels like music, that enriches every part of you with a joy and an intimacy, far exceeding the scale of anything you could have ever comprehended, is whispered. Thousands of words from thousands of voices, slowly sifting into your consciousness. But as more come, the old do not fade. It creates a cacophony, an insane and unbearable density of what it means to hold an entire world inside of you, to be the heart of every scoundrel and parent and sage, to feel every single one of their emotions as if it were your own. You are not just the sepulchre, every crested wave and brilliant, shimmering light. You are not just what it used to be, the world born from the prayer. You are not just all of its inhabitants, and you are not its sole windchime. You are all of these, in glorious and beauteous tandem. But there is one thing missing. There is one crucial, gaping wound. It was just touching your shoulder. You are not Shiasui, the singer, the father, the lover, the poet, the leader, the prayer. He is dead, and your soul, you can now feel, is your own, smothered under the enormity of the world now anchored on your heart.
Wow, that worked out real well. Hey,
To
don't you want to live? Give me your powers! Die.
Virgil, and who else is there? Was it just Virgil?
It's
Just Virgil.
literally just Virgil.
You watch as the prayer disappears and snow begins to accumulate on Amalia's skin, which begins to turn a numb kind of blue. Her clothes begin to ice over, but not her flesh. Her body begins to fade. Sigils scrawl in the air around her, first tens, then thousands of these runic circles, occupying angles and planes of all kinds, creating a kaleidoscope, and you feel yourself slowly being expelled. An immense pressure builds around you, Virgil, spiraling into a vortex hinged on the portal taken here, barely maintaining its stability as the ice under your feet begins to melt. What do you do?
Oh boy, oh boy. I think Virgil is freaking the hell out for a bit here, for a little bit here, because that's perfectly reasonable thing to happen in this circumstance. You said the portal was getting some fucky shit going on with it too. The whole area is basically feels like it's destabilizing, right?
Mostly the portal. The sepulchre itself is not destabilizing. The ice is melting.
Okay, well, shit, fuck, hell, damn,
Are you gonna have to change its name now? That's not a sepulcher anymore.
Um. All right. Virgil trusts Amalia. He's gonna fucking book it for the portal because there's still other stuff that he has to do, and he doesn't know what's gonna happen here.
All right, Amalia, roll another Constitution saving throw.
Boy.
You like to do anything to that?
Sure. 21.
21.
You
You fight so hard and incredibly splotchy, and just as these huge polygons of this vibrant color begin to recollect in your vision as it just slowly begins to return. You've crumpled to your knees and you're supporting your weight, and the rush of water up to your elbows is slowly just immersing around you as the ice of the sepulchre is very rapidly melting. The peaks and spires of the waves and the buildings underneath them are starting to come into view as the translucentness of the water is sort of replacing the reflection of the ice. You still can't feel anything, you can't hear anything, you can't taste or smell anything, but out of the corner of your eye you see Virgil turning and running for the portal.
Yeah. It's the whole thing that's happening. Alright, so he's running for the portal. Can I do anything to make sure he gets there?
Yeah, roll a charisma check straight.
All these go off my good stats.
So, the water like sucks out from around you and surges towards Virgil. As Virgil, a wave takes you up, and it gets much larger than you're expecting, before just sliding you through the portal back into the lobby of the Lagoon, and also destroying the portal. Just its stability having been completely wrecked.
Holy shit! Oh! One thing at a time. One thing at a fucking. Psycho! Right, yes, you.
Sayako sees Virgil just spill out of the portal and it closes behind him, and her eyes just dart down, up, left, right, and then back on Virgil again. It's like
He's soaked. Sopping wet.
He doesn't look very happy about it, but
took a spill. Where's Malia?
I'll tell you later. Right now we have other things to do. She said she'll handle it.
She lowers her brow. Insight.
Roll deception,
Sure.
Virgil.
I should probably get into roll 20 before I do that, huh?
Want me to roll it for you?
I'm an idiot sandwich.
Better than being a peanut butter sandwich. Anyway.
I believe because she's maxed out on wisdom and we're level 9, it would be 1d20 plus 9.
13. Doing anything to that?
No.
Okay.
7. No. Me either. So,
So, you play it how you want. You guys get to decide what happens.
yeah.
There's a pause.
Okay, she didn't tell me she was handling it, but it's Amalia. She's handling it.
What happened?
Uh, d- d- I don't fucking know.
Cecil.
Yes.
And all the way down in West City, Catherine, deep within the Umbra skein, you feel awash with not energy but presence, as that which has been missing for quite a while now returns to you.
The what?
Your soul.
Shit.
Do we realize that's what's happening?
Roll insight.
Okay. Look, please character sheet instead of this.
Yeah, you do.
Well, that.
Huh.
Okay, I guess. Does insight tell me
It tells you
what
that
that might mean
uh,
in the larger
with
scheme?
a 21, so what you know is that you are no longer tied to the prayer, or rather, as you know him, the Primavera. And also, in addition to that, the blizzard very quickly begins to stop. But back up to Lagoon.
I'm sorry. I was walked in on when you were describing something to do with feeling a thing.
Yeah,
Could
you feel your soul return.
Oh, that's big. I think what this looks like is, Virgil comes through the portal and is like, I didn't ask, Molly's handling it. And, like, halfway through, like drinking an inordinate amount of tea, like, Cecil's eyes just kind of widen. Cecil has gone back to looking like Cecil. Nothing changes aside from that, but, like he looks and is just like, what? And he looks at Virgil and is just like, what exactly did she do?
We really don't have time. We have a bunch of other things we have to be dealing with, like Lazarus. Shit. Okay, Molly's not here. I need all the help I can. Psycho, this is gonna sting a bit.
Cecil's just looking at him like he's the world's biggest idiot. Trying, like, he looks over and is just like, so what? Is the portal still open?
No.
Fuck. Okay. I think Cecil's just, like, staring incredulously at this, and it's like, okay, fine, deal with Lazarus then. Is Centra around?
Centra went out. No, Centra is around, right? Razorface is the
Yeah.
only one that left.
Yeah. Looks over at Centra, and it's like, so, what do you know about? Are you caught up with the Tenebrae and all that stuff, or do you have no idea what we're on about?
He just like takes a brief inhale and then just exhales it slightly. His brows just very quickly furrows in frustration and a little bit of anger as he says, seems very clear that there's no room for explanations here, so I'm not going to ask for any. I just need to know what you need me to do.
I don't.
Given what what he did to Razorface themselves, you might want to stay here where it's safe.
Fuck that!
Where is the? I'm a doctor. I know what I don't. You know what? Fuck it. Whatever. Fine. Psycho. Haha. This will super amplify
Can you
your
stop
regenerative
laughing?
properties. I am under a lot of stress. Let me work.
Centra just like grits his teeth a little and tosses a glance your way, Cecil.
Cecil just kind of just shrugs and it's just like, dude.
And then like I think he points to like the bits of your face that were metal and with like a questioning eyebrow raise, but doesn't say anything.
Cecil just kind of like shakes his head and just kind of waves his hand off.
What's Sayako do?
So Cecil's like, this is gonna sting a little, and she's like,
Virgil.
sorry, my bad. Virgil's like, this is gonna sting a little, and like, Sayako, she opens her mouth to say something, and then she just closes it and shakes her head, and she's like, if you'll help me stop being laying here useless, just do it.
Absolutely. And kashank with a healing shiv. with the good old super long resty treatment-y juicy juice.
You know, I thought I would have gotten used to the feeling, but
So you get the. Alright.
That do that.
Those wounds only persist until they benefit from a long rest instead of their usual duration of a week. Pog.
And then he's gonna take one of the portals that's specifically the Healy portal that he's seen used.
Yeah, you
He
look
said
around.
we could do this.
I did say that, and I realized that Razorface would have used all of them in the fight with Lazarus.
Nope, you gave us 6 of them.
Nope, taking it back.
You motherfucker.
Deal with it. Mamali is alive. You get this.
Okay, that'll make things different.
alright, so where am I at now then, if I don't have a full rest?
You don't like so essentially you got treated down in the A factory, and that lets you ignore the fucking like not being able to talk and the other shit for until you got out of the A factory, and you did. So we'll say it kicks in like no, we'll just say that that this you don't have to deal with that wound until you rest.
Alright, but I'm still at the current HP and spell slots.
No. Virgil still needs to roll for the fucking healing kit, grit point recovery shit with his sneak attack.
Okay,
But you're getting grit points back.
okay.
I'm just Virgil, do it. Roll the thing.
Yeah, I gotta fucking look at exactly how much the thing is. I guess just a healer feat, okay. 1d6 plus 4. What's your hit die, Psycho?
Same as everyone else's, D8.
We really just walking around with a bunch of d8s in this party, ain't we?
Well, that's the standard in this campaign.
No, it's just the grit point standard. I buffed yours. $39 grit points.
Okay.
That'll keep you on your feet a little longer.
You also got I think it was 56 grit points from the soup last time, right?
T, but yeah.
Yeah. Okay, just making sure you're keeping track of everything. And what do y'all do?
First, Sayako's gonna stand up and flex, and I'm assuming that a bandage has been tied around where her wound was, just to kind of keep that from opening up.
I think it cauterizes itself,
Oh, okay.
but there's like a big painkiller in the serum as well, so you didn't feel it.
I was imagining some numbing stitches, but
She pats the wound, and she's like, that better not scar. Anyway, what's her next move?
gotta go to Lazarus and deal with his bitch ass.
Right. Okay. She looks around for like whatever she can pick up and bring with her.
Well, yeah, alright. Sure. So, when you say Amalia is taking care of it, Cecil looks over at Virgil. It's like, do you actually know that, or are you just saying that?
I have faith in Amalia. I'll be honest. Okay, she's taking care of it.
What's it?
This whole bullshit thing that's going on with the sepulcher.
From probably about 10 feet away, Sentra clears his throat. I think they want a sequence of events, you fucking dimwit.
We really don't have the time. Can we please protect Nostos beforehand?
Well, you could always say it on the way there.
You're not there.
You're not
I
there,
know.
but
I'm
you're
telling them out of.
Okay.
I'm
Is that
telling
a character?
Yeah.
Sentra just looks at you, Cecil, and says, "Where's Lazarus?"
Out of character. Where's Lazarus? I don't remember.
Roll fucking...
If you say history, I'm gonna shoot you in the leg.
My guess is that Lazarus is where we left him with the core where we fought the Hecaton.
I was gonna say roll insight to see where like he would have moved to, or
Actually, you
stayed
know what?
where
That's
he
a
was.
better idea. Yeah, alright. 17, what can
17. That seemed to be the Windchime chamber of Nostos, and if that's what Lazarus is fucking with, he's probably either there or the tower where the scientist was. Both of which you know how to
Garrett.
get to.
Great. So Cecil says, well, there are two possibilities. Yeah, the Hecaton Cure one, but also the Scientist Tower, because, I mean, you know, they're correlative, I suppose. Anyways, I suppose let's just get going, then. We'll deal with anything that could lead to long-term damage to our friends later, I suppose.
All these bridges are nothing for me. Follow me.
What? Sure, same, but okay.
It's a part of the city. City secrets exist.
Yep. So you guys make your way to the tower. How are you getting them there through city secrets, Virgil?
Other than the crazy ass bridge bullshit that happened last time?
I'll give you a more in-depth explanation of like what it looks like right now, because it's changed significantly. You come outside of Lagoon, and it's a good like 30 feet to the ballast bridge that used to connect to it, just because most of them are now diagonal and shaking in the extreme turbulence that is like just everywhere. The ground underneath is quaking and upheaving itself. The blizzard has stopped, at the very least. There are ropes that stretch out from the ballast bridges as like the blimps that were on their undersides holding them up are slowly like billowing up over their sides and kind of colliding with one another like big floofy slow moving marshmallows. You can definitely get a fast way to the tower, but it's going to be really hazardous, and it doesn't look like there's a safe option.
Fuck. Well,
Sentra looks contemplative.
Cecil looks over and it's just like, what have you got on your mind?
Do you know how like what? I remember you saying something to me down near the factory, but I don't quite remember what it was. It just sounded important.
Well, maybe it was. Do you remember anything about it? What could it have been?
Something about like I think it made my head hurt.
Oh, yeah. So you know how do I describe this? You know the place you go to when you dream sometimes, that the place with the certain
nods
fella.
slowly.
Yeah. You get a headache whenever you hear that name specifically. Or anything to do with it?
Okay. All right.
I don't know why, but I do know that I don't want to give you a headache.
He just gives you like a smile, like, gee, thanks, Cecil. I'm glad you picked up on that.
Yeah, well, I mean, I've accidentally done it to you like 3 times.
Fuck.
So, yeah.
Virgil, come on. Are you just gonna look around?
I am trying to figure out a quick and safe way. It doesn't look like we're getting that So, are we going the hazardous quick way or the slow boring way?
Is the slow, boring way also hazardous? Central just looks to Sayako and then back.
It'll still be quicker than normal. There, I can see a few fun ramps we could slide on thanks to that blizzard that was there.
Great, that one. And
All right, let's go.
So which one?
We're doing the safe way, but it's still twice as fast as normal.
Yep, twice as fast, no problem. Let's get an acrobatics check from everybody. Sayako, Cecil, Sentra. Okay, alright, just a casual 25. And Virgil. Let me know when you guys have your finished rolls.
Second. I just need to go to the washroom really quickly. I'll be back in like a 30 seconds or less.
What do I got for this? I'm gonna cast guidance on myself.
Oh, that should be a 25. Oops. Okay. So what's this look like?
Actually, now that the blizzard has died down, I'm gonna have to spend HP to do this, right?
You feel like the pressure hasn't come back, even though the blizzard's gone.
Okay. All right. So.
You
So
can roll
basically,
religion on
no.
that if you want, but yeah.
I'll roll it. No, I'm just gonna count my blessings here. What it looks like for her when she casts it is, you know, she's kind of like kind of got an own Miyoji thing going on. So, like, you know, it's chanting and hand signs and stuff. As she traces like a very Azunian looking sigil in front of her that just whoops, and then there's like a ruffling of her clothes, and yeah, her eyes open. Let's do this. Okay, so we're sliding down on a railing, right?
At first, yes.
Alright, so she's gonna look it over, and then she's gonna step back, and then like kind of psych herself up. She's gonna smack her cheeks a couple of times, and
Plus 1d4.
plus 1d4. 11.
So we have a 2 25s and an 11 and a 13.
Well, two out of 4 is still a pass.
Can I push myself on this?
Yes, absolutely. Like I said, tell me when you guys are done altering your rolls.
I don't know why it does irradiant damage, but it's because I have holy weapon ticked for some reason.
Sayako, your fist glows and you just shove it in your mouth. I'm just kidding. So 20 and 20 and 25 and 25. All right, so everyone, you slide down the railings and you jump off like right as one of the air sac blimps underneath one of the ballast bridges that is just completely overturning and falling into the city below just rises up and meets your feet, and you all fall on it like a giant pillow and like bounce a couple of times, but it's large enough that it catches you in its entirety. In order to get this to keep going towards the tower, there's a very long rope that you have to sever that anchors it to where it is, and it's about 120 feet away.
And this is supposed to be the slow way.
Yes.
Things are fucky here in Nostos today. So, I have to. There's a rope
There's a
120 feet away that we have to sever.
There's a rope tethering this blimp to like a portion of the city to keep it where it's
Are
not going to be
we
able to get
meant-
to the tower.
Are we
Question.
stealing a blimp?
You're stealing a balloon, and
Hey,
it's going to
question.
float you up to the tower, but you need to.
So we have
de-anchor
to.
it.
So we have to cut this funny rope.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Will an Eldritch Blast do it?
Probably.
How about 2 of them?
Prob-
You're going into
Do
realm.
Eldritch Blast do cutting?
More probably, I guess.
Hey, question. I can solve this issue if you so desire without a spell. Wait, no, cantrip doesn't matter.
What's your idea?
They are
Hey.
learning.
Hey, so Eric.
Hi,
Uh,
that's me.
fragment of white. Begins to unravel off of Cecil's body. As he kind of points it forwards, as it begins to grow long and grips begin to grow out of the sides of it, and a big ornate sight as well, as it turns into what can only be described as a crossbow. It's because it is one.
PogChamp, make a ranged attack. Just
Do
click
you
it.
have the effort to use Fragment of Light?
It doesn't take effort.
I think it,
It
might. I think
Probably
I
should.
think I know.
Fragment of I'm reading it. It doesn't.
It does not.
It says "and" as a bonus action.
We will
I
see
think.
if I
Wait,
nerf
no,
it
wait,
in
yeah,
the
no.
future.
Yeah, no, there's no effort involved in this at all. And also, yes, I do. I believe. Actually, no, I don't. Funny. Wait, was that a
What?
rest we did?
We did not rest.
Was that-
No.
Okay. I thought the tea break was, but never mind. So what is a ranged attack?
Just click fragment of white. It counts.
I'm
Yep,
clicking fragment of what? Oh, the yeah.
Correct. In your attack thing.
I don't get advantage, but I do get a 16.
Do
I'm
anything
gonna.
to
I
it?
might. I think I am gonna be doing anything to it. I think a 21 will get it.
You shoot the rope. It severs. The blimp begins
Nice.
to slowly float towards the tower. And we cut to kaiju fight.
Woo!
Oh boy.
Reminder, does Kavi have her theme up and ready? I feel like this would be a good thing to do right about now, end of act and whatnot. Call that some bitch your nemesis and let's go crazy.
By the way, what happens if I summon Crimple inside of the...
I'm gonna give you
Thanks.
some descriptions before you ask questions.
Okay.
Catherine,
Mm-hmm.
you have just been sucked into one of the chambers of the Umbraskeen, and Danger Plant begins to react in a very, very strange way. Vines and roots begin to fuse to the interior of this thing, and a thin, like, plant-like sheen starts to shine from the screens in front of you, and the translucence that allows you to see into the outside, as this massive, shadowy crustacean climbs over the top of the factory. You feel inherently in Danger Plant's essence it fuse with the Umbraskeen. And rumble that just moves from the front of the thing, of the construct, through the chamber that you're in to the very bottom. It's almost like a sound of recognition from both your Danger Plant as well as this building that you're inside of. You gain access to the Umbraskeen stat sheet. These are the actions you're going to be using from inside here. This composite shifted is currently about... It's long range away from you.
Please declare it your rival. Do it.
Let's
Let's
get
hear
some-
Kavi's theme.
Yes,
Let's hear Kavi's
definitely.
theme.
Yes.
What is Catherine's theme? I don't even know. And also roll initiative.
The sound of one hand clapping.
Could I do that too, despite being pretty far away from the fight, kind of?
You're right here,
I know, but like,
and the Umbraskeen is
They're way
right
up.
here,
are they also like way up though?
and this thing is right here. They're. You can't even see what the Umbraskeen is looking at. They're pretty way up. You would have to get to the rooftop to get like a nice view. You declare the composite shifted your rival. Pug.
I suppose Kane will be making his way up towards the roof on his turns then.
Still need initiative rolls.
Yeah, I can't click on my boyo, so I can't make it easy on you.
Do I roll with my initiative or?
I don't use the initiative counter, so you can just roll. And yeah, you use your initiative. Nice. Player wins ties, so you're above 20. Player wins ties, so you're above 10. What would you like to do, Catherine?
Alright, so Big Bad and Scary's here.
Big Bad and Scary is here.
Okay, and we're doing Theater of the Mind?
Yes.
Or... Okay,
Danger Plant's like right here.
okay.
I'm just gonna make a dark colored Danger Plant to represent it.
Alright. Is it in Helix? Is it in Helix form right now?
It is currently in Helix form, yes. Actually, I'm gonna make it red.
Well, in that case... I just exactly. Okay. So am I in range to do Disintegrate?
Nope, that's close range.
Can I get close enough in one move to do Disintegrate?
Because you're in Helix form, you have double flight speed, so yeah, you can get close enough to do a Disintegrate. Alright, so you just whoosh, and
Okay. Shouldn't that have done actual attack roll?
No, it just tells you what it does. You have to roll it manually.
Okay.
It's a dex saving throw, which is bad at. Nice.
Okay, one.
No, Shawnee, just type /R 10d40 plus or 10d6 plus 40.
/R.
Oh, honey, Shawnee. Nice, 72 damage. That is 4 ticks. So on the Umberskeen as a helix just begins to spin as it surges across the top of the A factory. Both of them fall out of your gaze, Kane. As you see a flash of light as the single solid white optic coming out of the Umberskeen's front compartment just blasts a laser into the composite shifted, just tearing portions of it off. Roll a 1d6, please. And then would you like to change your form?
Okay, 1d6. That
Okay.
didn't recharge. And right now, I'd like to still stay in Helix form.
Helix, okay. Alright, initiative count 20. Several of its claws breach out of its its thorax's upper shell and begin to surge towards you. And as they do, just through the translucence of the chamber you're in, you can see that they are all comprised of like these silents and screamers and clickers that are all fused together in this horrible amalgamous mass. And all of the silence in each of these claws just like breach off and thrust their arms into the portions of the Umberskeen that they are attempting to damage. What's the roll? Where is it? Here it is. 1d20. Oh, yeah, it can make 2 because you're in close range. Hate to see it. There's a 31 and a 22 hit.
Probably. Let me go see what its AC is. 19.
Yep,
So
so both hit. So this is severe piercing damage. Both of these are. And it's... Oh, no, that's not that bad.
Alright.
Plus 12. 60, 10, plus 12. This is not hitting you, Catherine. This is being counted on the danger plant clock, but it is severe damage. Wait a minute! It's piercing! Which the Umbraskeen is immune to.
Alright!
The Shifted's arms just like come in and begin to penetrate the portions of the Umbraskeen that they come into contact with before, like, it seems like the alloy plating kind of starts to adhere and like stick to their arms and just like suck them in and assimilate portions and also just tear the arms off of the Shifteds.
Okay, in that case, I'm gonna whisper to the Umbraskeen. Would you be able to save one for me?
Roll persuasion.
Okay. No, I guess.
A bunch of really like complex lines of code just begin typing themselves in many directions all along the translucent screens in front of you. Before like the text turns red and goes away, and you get a small error message, and then it disappears.
All right, I figured it was worth asking.
All right, your turn, Kane.
He is going to try to make his way up to the roof.
All right, roll athletics to climb the side of the factory.
Oh, I guess I'm climbing.
By the way, so what does it have disadvantage against?
What is what?
My rival have disadvantage against what? Or would I have advantage?
Everything you do.
I forgot. My bad.
And you have advantage on everything you do to them.
It's true. Nothing
Let's
happened anyways.
get that theme
so
going.
We're good.
All right.
Literally, they didn't say a theme. I don't know what it is.
Find one.
Is it really wise to be trying to climb up the side of the A factory?
You could also roll investigation to try and find the ladder, but it looks like Sarkic's starting to climb it.
Okay, then Kane is going to be competitive and start climbing it.
You doing anything to the 10?
No. Rough start. He's kind of like taking it in, I guess.
Yeah, Sarkic fucking blows past you. And, he runs 3 steps up, jumps off, and grabs the glass casing of what looks like an alarm light, and just begins to pull himself up and just hops up into like a crouch on top of it. He jumps and like grabs a pipe and begins to like hand over hand up it. You're just like awkwardly looking for footholds, probably 20 feet underneath him.
And they complain to themselves, like, not fair, this is his turf.
You probably get a quarter of the way up. He gets about halfway. And brings us to 10. So the big crustacean looking motherfucker, the composite Shifted, just slowly starts to lower itself onto the surface of the factory. And portions of the building just start getting like crunched up and eaten underneath. But it doesn't look to be healing. Your turn, Catherine.
All right. By the way, does the bad guy have, what'd you call it, attack of opportunity?
Yes. If you would move away, then. Without taking the disengage action, it would be able to attack you.
All right. So one that says the Helix form has additional potency of attacks, like, what does that mean relative to, like, condensed form?
That means that it actually did 5 ticks, not 4.
Alright. Where's the thing's clock?
Bottom of the screen. Zoom out.
Okay.
Oh, actually, since we just got to the top of another turn order, I'm actually going to switch POV.
Okay.
But you can think about what you're going to do. Amalia! Buddy, pal, friend. The world around you is melting, and you're sinking into the water. And only your sight has returned. And, you can't feel whether or not you're drowning. What's Amalia doing right now?
Alright, so Amalia is sinking. She can only see. So, what can I see?
Very little. As you sank past 10 feet, 15 feet, 20, the water begun to get darker and darker until all you can see are like the rays of light piercing through the surface that is now above you. They're illuminating like some very distant spires, and you can feel like the tug of a current.
Alright, two things. I am going to attempt to will myself towards that current, see where it goes. And second, I need some light, so she is going to try and cast dancing lights.
Lights begin to blink into existence around you, but not the kind that dancing lights typically encompass. It's more just like the pure form of it, as you realize that you're manipulating the water in such a way to hyper reflect the small amounts of light that actually get down here until it gets brighter and brighter, and creates an illuminating field. The current of water begins to get stronger as you focus on it. Roll another Constitution saving throw.
Jeez, it hasn't been a good day for con throws, has it?
Or for Amalia.
I have +3, so you know.
It's almost like offering to be a denizen's heart is really fucking straining.
59 psychic damage as the presence of everything in your mind once again comes crushing down on your consciousness like an unbearable weight.
I sure do know.
Is that... how much grip points do you have? That was a con save. Resistance. Gotcha. So you take 28. 29? 29 psychic damage.
Yeah, I can live with that.
For now.
So
Yeah.
I think what this does is the crushing weight of this immediately removes you from what's happening to your body. As just like 6 different perspective shifts come over you at once, and there's several different buildings that you're in as different people having different experiences and different conflicts and thoughts and varying levels of mindfulness. And right as you start to get like situated on one of them, it rapidly shifts to another. And as you project this mental barrier, you just fixate really hard until you're only being drawn into one. And it's of a small child who is outside a building on a beach. And this obviously isn't that place, but it reminds you of your home in Canaan. and you're drawing in the sand, and you forget the pain that you were in. But there's still the loudness of everything else. What do you do?
So I am focusing on this one individual. What do the denizens of the sepulcher actually look like? We've never seen them.
The inhabitants, you mean?
Yeah.
So you stop drawing in the sand and you look at your hand, and it's got 4 fingers, and it's like this porcelain, but softer, obviously. It's very human-like. There's some scratches that look like scars. It's hairless completely, and there's a dark red, just piece of clothing going down its sleeve that connects to a tunic that continues off into a small set of robes around you. You move over to the water that's just like licking in at the shore that you're standing on, and you look down at your reflection, and you don't see any hair, but you see like these porcelain tendrils carved off of your head in ways that look like hair, like you're a statue.
Interesting.
And you also notice that you have the same glowing eyes that, not exactly his, but eyes like the prayers. Just a deep set inside your head, and coming out of the small bowls that serve as your eye sockets.
So I am literally this thing, or I am like inhabiting.
You have anchored yourself in this person because your consciousness was being split to all of them simultaneously, and the mental barrier allowed you to hone in.
Poor kid is suddenly having their body taken over, but then again, they just woke up from being frozen, so it's probably been an interesting day all around.
Yeah, how do they feel about that?
You think until you get to the surfaces of their thoughts, and it doesn't seem like they knew at all. This child is just thinking the thoughts of a child about the next meal that's going to be made for it, and some lessons that it was going to be taught by its elders.
But you were moving its body.
It doesn't seem to think much of that. It seems like what it's doing is its idea.
Okay. Nice.
Kind of fucked up, but whatever.
Yeah,
Well, I was
okay.
really worried about this kid being just like re-traumatized.
That's
and
nothing.
freezing.
So I think what I'm going to try and do is Amalia is going to try and sort of now that she's anchored herself mentally, she's going to try and anchor herself physically. Like stop being like completely disconnected from the rest of her senses.
Okay, roll another Constitution saving throw. Your hands just instinctively come up to your face as all of a sudden your completely waterlogged lungs just make themselves known through the screaming of your body, protesting against the depth at which it's been forced to, and you feel the frigid cold of the water around your body. None of this is around the child, but you still feel it like incredibly harshly. Your ears also waterlogged. Hear the very dull thrum of gargantuan waves rising up as they move in some direction, following the currents of the water. You don't smell anything.
Right. Okay.
I guess you smell salt.
Okay, so clearly I need some time to sort of get my shit together. So
Casting that on your body.
yeah,
Um,
just until I can acclimatize.
the child extends a hand, and a resilient sphere comes into existence around it, but Amalia's body, like you, wherever that is, away from this projection, is still experiencing all these sensations. That said, it doesn't seem to cost you any effort. Like, you're, you don't have to spend the spell slot. I guess
Sure.
now's a good time to cut to the other gang. Cecil, Virgil, Centra, Sayako, you're all riding a blimp as it's soaring towards a tower that seems to be one of the only buildings in this place that isn't crumbling under the destruction ensuing around it. And you all notice pretty much at the same time that another bridge being flown by its detached blimps is going to intercept you. A larger one that is much heavier due to the fact that the bridge it's carrying is still like present on it, whereas you guys are just kind of on a rogue balloon. It's huge, and it's definitely going to knock you off course of the tower, if not out of the sky completely.
All right. Finding her footing, Sayako is going to approach the kind of like direction of it, and her tails swing out. She is going to try and knock it off course before it collides with their platform.
Okay.
With a fireball.
Costa qua.
Go ahead and roll.
Actually, does
Alright.
it look
It fails
from-
a dex save automatically. What's up?
before I do that, does it look like it's being piloted from here?
No, this just looks like a fucking. These bridges don't get piloted.
Okay.
The ballasts, the blimps themselves, are just
Mhm.
to keep them in the air. This thing is fucking. This is
Alright.
just basically a giant
rogue.
piece of debris.
Alright. So she's like, you guys might wanna hang on, this is gonna be a big explosion. And she casts the fireball at the ballasts.
Go ahead and roll damage.
I mean, I was thinking we could just have Cecil freeze it in time, but okay.
Uh, 29 fire damage.
There's 2 ticks, I believe. You breach a significant part of like its outer membrane, but
So it's not filled with hydrogen?
doesn't seem like you got through to the interior.
Question, Eric.
What's up?
How far away is it from us?
It's within probably 100 feet. It's gonna hit in the next. You guys
Is
have
the blimp
probably
above
2 turns.
the? All right, great. Is the blimp above the thing, perhaps covered in shadow, due to the central light being, a blimp on top of something? Surely it would cast shadow beneath it, correct?
roll perception to see for like
Oh,
probably
okay.
just look for a place that you could teleport to. Yeah, you see a small shadow. It's not here yet, but within the next couple of seconds, and your efforts of like running, you can get in range and then teleport onto it.
Fantastic. So Cecil just is like Cecil stands up, and looks like he's just about to just leap off just into God knows where, into the electric sea, but then just like suddenly just what's the word, decorporealates, yeah. And you see a little dot appear on the adjacent blimp. Is the blimp set up by one fixture, or is it like multiple fixtures?
It looks like there's 6 or 7 that are,
All right.
that are pinning it to the bridge itself.
Great. So instead of that, Cecil attempts to Hey, so the tool that Fragment of White can be anything, right?
Yeah. It's just a tool
All right.
set.
Well, I'm not going to use that. I think I'm going to be using Death in the West, like a javelin, kind of, in the sense of just like stabbing the blimp and then like almost like pulling a cord in the same vein that Cecil did to the Hecatoncheir. The tip, like the breaching tip of Death in the West, begins to expand into this like branching kind of almost blood vesseline what do you call it? Pattern on the inside of said blimp. If it gets through, God knows.
Go ahead and roll attack with disadvantage.
I think I will. So 22. I'm gonna
So
push
as
that,
you,
I suppose.
no, you're good.
No, it's a structure, so I gotta. No, I'm joking. Go ahead. Just it might dodge.
You're right. It might. Actually, I think 22 doesn't hit. Actually, unfortunately. So the Death in the West once again just screams in protest and tries to this time like claw out of your grasp as you're swinging it, but you manage to like rein it in as like before the momentum of the attack is through and just tear it through and drag it, and the transformation happens and it just starts to tear and rip. Roll damage with everything, I assume, except for like maybe the lacerator materia. I don't know.
Yeah, lacerator's off. It's fine.
All right, so that's double to 8.
That's 3 6s in that one roll, by the way. That's batshit great. That's a funny little crit in a different, better. No, I'm joking.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, so
Holy shit.
Psycho just scorches a portion of the blimp, and Cecil getting up and deftly maneuvering through both foot and teleportation gets to the scorched portion and just easily tears a massive hole. As
like a
you
1-2
do,
combo.
A gas does not blow out at you. A like bubbly liquid just starts to lift out of the air, lower density than the air around it, and it begins to try to immerse you, Cecil. Roll a dexterity saving throw.
Oh no. Oh wow, that's actually the worst. Okay. Does an 18 get it?
Yeah. And you have evasion, so you just get out of the way.
Nice, love to see it. Yeah, what that looks like is just like I think Cecil uses Death in the West to like scrape further along the edge of the blimp and like land away from it. Can I get off of this thing on the same turn or no?
No, you have to use
Oh,
the
boy.
bonus action again. Virgil, what do you want to do?
Virgil looks around. He doesn't really have, and then he remembers what he's holding in his hand. Fuck it. This is mostly an excuse so I can click this because I thought it was funny.
Roll damage.
Okay.
Virgil takes a gun out and starts
I don't know
shooting
why.
into the
I don't
wall.
know why that is the funniest mental image I could possibly think of in Windchimes.
Virgil was given a gun by Razorface. He was given the SMG
true.
weapon.
Did I make this?
You did
No,
make the
you
SMG.
didn't. I did.
Oh, well, thank
Like-
you for making it a 1d69 damage. That's incredible.
You're welcome.
All right. Sayako, what do you want to do? Cecil's still on it. Sayako?
Cecil's, how far away is Cecil?
So it's still en route to collide with you guys. Destroying it doesn't look like it's... Or actually, no. Just with the liquid expelling itself from its depths and floating up into the air, its trajectory is being severely altered.
But if we destroy this thing, what's gonna happen to Cecil? Is what I'm asking.
He's probably going to fall with the debris. Unless,
Okay,
assuming Cecil stays standing on it.
Yeah,
You
you
just
know.
watched him
well,
teleport.
well, Cecil. Well, as you know, you need to give Cecil a command before he can do anything. So,
That's what I'm asking.
Ooh, I
How
didn't
far
know
away is
Cecil was a
Cecil?
familiar.
yeah, no. Cecil is Sentra's familiar. Eric's just been giving me things to do.
Am I not gonna get an answer to that?
To what?
How far away Cecil is?
It's now within close range. It's about 20 feet away.
Okay. And there is a spot where Cecil must be standing on.
Yes.
Okay. Well, goodbye one level 2 spell slot. I'm going to action and bonus action Misty Step over there, snag him and Misty Step back.
Yeah, wait. Why would you? I can teleport away. It's not.
No, that's pog as hell.
Okay, it is cool. I just don't want you to like. I don't know. Is Misty Step like big?
It's a
Second
level
level.
spell slot.
Okay, so that's not a lot, right?
Um,
Is it a lot? I don't want you to like waste your spells on this. It's okay.
Also,
But that
like,
is a cool. That is a cool visual.
if you think that's what Sayako would do, that's fine.
Yeah, I like it. I'm just like, all right.
I mean, I'm doing it so that when we destroy this thing, he won't be there.
that is true.
All right. So she's like, I'll go grab him. And she runs forward, and as she does, she just disperses into a burst of just fox flame that dematerializes, and then whoosh, out of the smoke, she snags Cecil by the hem of his cloth, and then same thing, whoosh, back to where they were standing before. It's like, all right, one good hit will bring this thing down.
So as this happens, Cecil, you're brought back. Your passive perception shows you that Sentra is no longer on the blimp.
Cecil's looking around. Where possibly could he have gone? Can I roll for something?
Yeah.
What the? All right. Insight, I suppose.
I think this would be perception.
Okay, perception then. Wait, perception is the exact same roll. So I'll.
Pog,
if you want me
25. I'm not gonna make you read. 25 is fine.
they're both 12.
You are seeing massive clusters of lightning that were not there start to congregate around the tower. It mostly looking like they're originating on the side of the tower that is closest to the blimp. As those catch your eye, you fucking a lightning bolt strikes the very thick leather serving as the membrane for this blimp, and Sentra reappears just on his hands and knees, kind of close to you, completely unharmed, just looking around in slight terror and confusion. He looks at you, Cecil.
Cecil's looking back, just wide-eyed, just what? What? Huh? What?
I was thinking about going there, and
You went? Did you go there?
not inside. What?
Fuck,
What
that
just
was
happened?
I'm not. I don't know what.
Sentra looks at Virgil because he's seen Virgil withhold information, and he just screams, "What the hell is going on? What aren't you telling us?"
Okay. For fear of being literally struck by lightning.
Hold up, Cecil. The blimp's about to crash into you guys.
Okay,
big
so
one
while
with the
everything's
bridge.
happening, I think Cecil just like sees it.
Wait,
getting
I thought
closer.
Cecil. I thought Centra hit the blimp.
Nope. He hit your guys' blimp. He came back.
Okay, so quickly
Ah.
seeing everything, Cecil in a split-second reaction doesn't throw even Death in the West doesn't throw the fragment of light, whips out the Tenebrae dagger and just throws it like a kunai
Don't attack
at
you,
the.
hit. It's dead. The single dagger just like hits the little fucking leather and it just like it just starts blowing like a fucking whoopee cushion as it
it just makes a giant farting sound effect, just like it's the stock one.
it breaks into a bunch of debris that just like rushes through and around the blimp you guys are on. A lot of the debris is like could very possibly fucking hit you and knock you off. Dexterity saving throws from everybody. Yeah, bye bye Aaron's dagger clock.
Oh, that's low. Hold on, that's high. That's better.
Sentra is going to cause yours to succeed, Sayako. Because he got a crit.
Okay.
You're getting the raw treatment from Maruna.
Roll it anyways. See if Sayako dies without Sentra.
Actually, yeah, you could. You could see if Sayako dies without Sentra.
Shit, maybe she crit. Oh, yeah, she would have died.
I can't believe Sayako's been turned into
1207
bread.
bludgeoning damage as a giant cheesecake hits you in the mouth. Yeah, so fucking you just there's a giant piece of building is about to. Why isn't it looping? What's going on with Rhythm Bot?
God has abandoned us.
Yes, what is it, Pi?
All right. A bunch of debris going around. Cecil, what do you do? How do you not get hit by this shit, Fergus?
What this looks like is like Cecil runs like there's a piece of debris that Cecil's like, well, I can't get out of the way of that. So Cecil runs at it as several of the white hands from Fragment of White like push up off of the ground as he just does a full cartwheel over it and lands on his hands and knees.
What does Virgil do?
Virgil fucking wall kicks from debris bits to debris bit.
That's sick. What does how do you think Sentra helps you, Sayako? Like what does the 6 look like, and then how do you get the crit?
Question:
What's up?
Are the buildings made of metal?
Yes.
And Sentra has lightning powers, right?
Uh-huh.
I think he, without really realizing it, just innately channels the magnesis of the lightning. And as they're about to crunch on Sayako, just these electric bolts shoot from his hand, and they wrap around the metal pieces, and they stop momentarily, and then they just fling in the opposite direction.
That's fucking sick.
And like she's prepared to dodge them. Her eyes widen, like, "Oh, this is not good," and just they just stop inches from her, and then just whoosh in the opposite direction. And she's like, she swings her glance over her shoulder at Sentra, and she's like, "Appreciate that."
The mercurial coils down the backs of his arms have like solidified into these long lightning rod kind of fixtures, and he's just like extending both of his hands like in the directions the buildings were in before they were repulsed, and they just slowly slink back, and you see like a lot of the same mercurial like liquidy shit leave his sclera, the sclera of his eyes, as he looks at you, and he's just like, yeah, no problem. Still want to know what the fuck is happening? He whirls back around to Virgil.
Okay. We've got fucking time, I guess. Safe route and all.
Safe route, he says.
Do you want to know what the dangerous route was? Because I saw how that was gonna go.
Just explain what's going on so he stops freaking out.
Okay. So, we have seen Razorface get nearly fucking deaded by Lazarus. Jury's still out on the whole Cyrus Lazarus involvement bullshit, but right now, presumably, we're going to stop him. It's fine. The blizzard was caused by the prayer, our little benefactor. He wanted to fuse Nostos, and he wanted to anchor himself and thus Sepulture into Nostos as a means of saving himself because he was dying. Amalia showed up, convinced him that that wasn't a good idea, and then convinced him to pull a Razorface with her. And now here we are. And Amalia's got this, I'm sure, but we have to deal with the problems here.
Centra's like eyebrows are furrowing in deeper and deeper in confusion as like he slowly like starts approaching you like while you're explaining, and he folds his arms and his mouth's still open a little bit, and he's just like, who's Razorface? What?
There were some issues with your coming back process. You're welcome, by the way.
My what?
I helped with that. You died. You had to be. You died. Me and Kavi saved you, and you had to be escorted back here by Razorface.
You didn't die? What? No, he was hurt, but he wasn't dead.
Oh no, dead as a doornail. Luckily, I'm awesome.
That didn't actually. He was still alive. What?
No,
Centra looks like there's still the confusion, but also this sense of dread starts coming into his expression as he looks between the two of you and then at Sayako, and he's like, do you know anything? What?
Sayako's going to approach Centra and is like, long and short of it, there is a guy who is trying to mess with this place, and she swings a hand around at Nostos as a whole as they're passing through it on this big old dirigible.
Great word.
We need to stop him before everything comes crashing down around us. And well, I don't know the full story myself. I think you and us should team up and put a stop to what the big nasty mean man is doing.
We're
okay?
What? Huh? I mean, we're already friends.
Yeah.
Okay.
Centra's just like also just fucking stumbling over his words as he's pointing between like particularly Cecil and himself. And he's like, yeah, no, we're on great terms. I was gonna follow him around it.
No, the big mean nasty man named.
No, I know. This Lazarus guy, right?
We're gonna go stop him.
Why can I affect this place? What is that?
Oh well. Wait. Out of character. We already told him last session.
Yeah, he asked about that earlier, and like that he didn't quite remember what you'd said.
Oh,
that it
Cecil. Okay, my bad. Cecil slaps himself on the forehead and says, "Oh, okay. No, I remember what you didn't remember me telling you that was very important."
He gulps.
Yeah, it's so this place has a deity affixed to it, right?
Gotcha.
Following this?
Yeah.
Yes. So you might have taken their powers. You might have taken their powers a bit, yeah. I don't know what that I don't know what that ends up being. It's probably fine.
He looks at the tower that you guys are approaching, just like turns his head left, and then looks back at you, and just this slightly exasperated look, but also like sympathetic, comes over his face, and he's like, "Wait." And you guys essentially just fucking. He extends his hand, and a tether of a lightning connects the tower to him, and you guys begin to sail a lot faster through the air as he begins to pull
Whoa.
you.
Well, I'm thinking about it, Sentra. If this is not
Shh, I'm concentrating.
Oh, okay.
I don't want to do too much or too little. I don't want to hurt anyone.
For what it's worth, we believe in you.
Please shut up, Virgil.
Hmm.
As they're approaching, do we see the big kaiju battle happening?
Yeah, off in the distance, there's just like the scream, and then the Umbraskein like swirls up and is like just cuts a laser through it, and fucking like you don't see Kane and Sarkic like climbing up the wall because they're too small, but like then like 3 arms just come in and try to just shatter portions of the Umbraskein in its helix form, and the arms just like attacking a tree with a glass axe just shatter, and recede and pull away and try to recover as the creature they're attached to just slinks into like this rotational maneuver around it. It looks like a really big shadow hermit crab fighting a weird like Cthulhu like square snake.
So I was gonna point at all that happening. He's like, "Oh, hey, look at that."
I guess the creatures around here are fighting for dominance now that everything's going fucky.
And I think of above all the noise, you just hear Catherine's cackling laughter.
Oh, that explains everything. Never mind then.
Speaking of,
Great job, Catherine! You're doing great!
let's go back to that.
All right.
Top of the round. What you doing?
All right. Now I have to remember what I was actually going to do.
Good luck.
It was probably Electric Hug.
Hell yeah. Roll attack.
Okay.
This better actually be called Electric Hug.
It is.
It is.
I love it.
Okay. Anyway. So anyway. Let's see.
You want to do anything to that roll?
So was that the 24 plus 3d12? No.
That is the 1d8 plus 2 to 3d12 plus 5 damage, but you rolled an 18 to hit. So, do you want to do anything to the 18, or do you think that hits?
I think that probably hits.
Great. Roll damage. You're
All right.
right.
What is it? 24 plus 3d12 plus 5 or
No,
what?
you click the attack text in Electric Hug.
Okay.
Like in where it was rolled next to the 18. You can't do it. You don't have control of the sheet. There it is. 9 bludgeoning plus 17 lightning. Great. So that does 2 ticks.
So it's grappled versus a DC 17.
Let's see if it succeeds.
And it has disadvantage against me.
It fails. So the Umbraskein just like fucking surges up around it and coils around its mass and then just electrifies itself. And the I guess we don't get music, by the way. The composite shifted just
Yes!
shakes
This is
violently.
so much fun. You and I have to team up.
Do you want to change your form? You will keep it grappled if you do. Don't worry.
Oh. Conduit.
You mean condensed?
Yeah. Or wait. Wait.
Conduit is an action. You just took an action. At the end of an action, you can change your form.
All right. Condensed.
All right. So roll 40-12 or 48 for your temporary health shield.
R4D8.
All right,
19.
so Catherine just slams her fist on a giant button in front of her, and the Umbraskeen
Whoa,
it's
buttons!
slowly like the giant cubes comprising its helix form, tethered by electromagnetivity, slowly start to get closer and closer to each other. Thank you for remembering to roll the d6. I appreciate that.
I mean, it was a pretty sucky roll, but
And you're in.
I don't suppose I get advantage on that. No, didn't think so.
Wait. I thought that. Oh, also, yeah, you had advantage on the fucking attack roll. My bad. Yeah, no, I guess not. So yeah, it as the helix form just condenses into one giant polyhedron with a bunch of rectangular prisms coming out of it in very even geometric forms. The shape that it was in helix form that grappled it is still there as this incredibly long electric rope that's coming out of the condensed form at multiple different angles and keeping it grappled. So your AC rises to 28 and you lose all of your movement. Its turn. It is grappled. Tries to break out. It has disadvantage. It succeeds. As it just starts to tear at the electric rope binding it and move away, and then as it does, it melds seamlessly into the top of the factory, and you can no
Do
longer
I get
see
an attack of opportunity?
You do, yeah. Go ahead and roll electric hug because that's your only melee attack.
Okay. Advantage.
Wow,
And
D&D without fucking music, kind of blows. Am I right? Another
I
two
told you it
I
was the
kind of
sound of
find it
one hand
fitting that
clapping.
Kavi's things is silence. Yeah.
It's the sound of plants growing.
Yeah.
That brings us to
Watching
you,
the
Kane.
grass grow.
Kane, Sarkik is still ahead of you. You hear just the sounds of combat and Catherine's maniacal laugh from here. In the far distance, you just see some fucking ballast bridges falling and the blimps colliding with each other, and it's Tuesday.
So Kane's gonna grumble. All these kids are having all the fun without me. And he's gonna roll athletics to, get a bit further.
Nice. So you hand over hand
And then annoyed.
all the
Yeah.
way to the top of the factory. How does Sarkik do? I forget what his modifier is, so I'm just gonna
7.
7. I was gonna throw a 10. Nice. You both get up at the same time. He just dusts his hands together, shoulders off the canister that was holding his map, and starts to pull at different portions of it that are levers that you didn't realize were levers just because they're so seamlessly integrated into its design. And the top of it just starts to expand outward, and it drops a bipod as he hitches it up, and then he takes the map out, and he pulls a large bag that he's had with him around, and out of it just produces massive shells, and he starts putting them in. As you realize, this map canister is also a portable cannon. And he looks at you, and he grins his Arium grin, gives you a double eyebrow raise, and then he says, "Reckon I could fit you in here if you wanted to be a projectile, but let's fire its maiden shot first." What do you want to do?
Unfortunately, actually, wait. I'll let him take the shot first and see how well it rolls.
Okay.
He's taking the shot, right? Kane is going to add the Mercurius Blessing to that.
Pog, what does it do?
Adds 10 to the hit dice.
That's Pog as hell. What does this look like?
So I don't know. I feel like there's probably going to be even more a red little aura around the shot before it fires. If Sarkik is all red at the moment or whatever, taking aim or whatever.
Oh, I have a good idea. So so you start like just blessing him in the aura with one hand, and then you get your other hand ready. And as the shell fires, you just flick your wrist, and the shell just erupts in like Mercus's flames.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
it strikes the massive creature's like carapace, like right before it becomes intangible and melds with the factory. Make sure loop's going. And let's roll damage for this Yamato cannon. 8d10 against structures. That is 3 ticks. 6 left. Almost done. Alright. Yeah, he grins at you. The light glints off his teeth and he gives you a big thumbs up.
Kane reciprocates the thumbs up.
And 0. The portions of it that it absorbed, just the portions of the factory that the composite shifted absorbed last turn, just tons of debris just starts shooting out of the factory's roof like a volcano from different portions as the shifted just swims around its interior. This is a dexterity saving throw from everybody.
Everybody, huh?
Everybody.
Yeah, Virgil. No, I'm just kidding. So Catherine, give me a dexterity saving throw from fucking the Umbraskein with advantage.
Okay. Did that show up? Oh,
Dexterity.
advantage.
16.
16.
Okay. You guys want to do anything to those?
Surge. Which means... Wait, do I have enough health to surge?
You should have most of your health because it can't do damage to you. It can only do damage
Yeah,
to
but I already had... I only have 35 hit points at the moment, but sure.
Should it be for like Umbraskein or Catherine? Like, is Catherine gonna take damage, or is the Umbraskein gonna take
Only
damage?
the Umbraskein can take damage unless Catherine gets out.
Okay.
So her
So that-
pushing would affect her health, but not really matter for the
Plus-
Umbraskein.
Yeah,
Okay,
the
so that's-
Umbraskein is just a health clock. So
Okay.
2
Alright.
plus either Wisdom or Constitution. Which one?
The one that's 4.
Okay, so 6. So you have 22.
Fine. I don't trust 16s in this Eric verse.
Yeah, you shouldn't because that was gonna fail. Good job. You take half of this damage.
Which is still probably gonna push me down to
40 bludgeoning damage as the factory debris just rains down. Is high, good, or bad?
Deshala, you want to say?
So like,
Good, bad?
why isn't it excellent?
Okay.
Nice by 3. All right, so it tears, it strips off the wall of this massive tower, just revealing this huge, enormous coil of electricity being fed into by 2 generators. Except the lightning it looks sickly and black, and you hear this dull laughter coming from it.
So King got pushed negative by that, by the way. Thanks.
Alright.
Lack of a long rest.
That is severe bludgeoning damage. You take the level 3. You take a severe wound. This is gonna be what do you think a cool wound for Kane could be right now? Like, I was just gonna do a boring thing and fucking like blind him and remove all of his movement, but like, what's sick?
Maybe broken ribs.
Yeah,
Legs.
a bunch of shards of the building just hit Kane in his chest and just shred through his armor, and blood like spurts out, and he staggers back 5 or 6 feet. However, you're still
Cough up a little
standing. You just have disadvantage on every 1d20 roll that you make right
Fine.
now.
Alright, that's fun.
Shani, you did not take that damage. That was Danger
Oh.
Plant taking bludgeoning damage, which it has vulnerability to because it's the Umber Skein, actually. This clock is named the wrong thing. And 80... Oh wait, no, you succeeded the dex saving throw, which subtracts 1 tick. So let's see. That was severe, which is 3 ticks, double to 6, minus 1 from the successful save, so 5 ticks. The Umber Skein gets beaten up a whole lot, but it actually is mitigated down to the lower level because it had the temp health shield. So never mind.
Yep.
We're good. It's just 3 ticks. And it is your turn.
Mine?
Yes, your turn.
All right.
The
So
creature,
where did-
the horrible composite shifted, has sunk into the factory and kind of disappeared and become intangible, and you can't see it. The wall of this tower was stripped away, and you see like this weird sick-looking electricity feeding into a massive coil. Your thing recharges, Pog.
Yep. Well, let's disintegrate again.
You can't. You don't really have a target to disintegrate unless you want to attack the coil.
Okay. I'm going to move out of range.
You do
In
not
that
have any
case-
movement. You're in condensed
Alright.
form. Conduit or simulate would both be good here.
Yeah.
Except
I'm thinking.
simulate is redundant with you declaring it your nemesis.
Yeah. So, I think I'm going to go into conduit,
Okay.
and I have movement in conduit, right?
In tower form, yeah.
Okay. So I'm gonna move a bit back out of range.
Like over to there. So
Yeah.
the Umber Skein, as it elongates into a single long rectangle that is always vertical, just begins to thrum with energy as lightning starts crackling to it as you move over to there. As you do, Kane, you and Sarkic watch as the horrible bad monster bursts out over here and just hurls a bunch more debris towards the Umber Skein. Roll, I hate you, Caro. It's rolling this with disadvantage, and I can only make one of these.
Bro, I hate you, Pharaoh, huh?
D20. 6 plus 10 misses. So the debris falls short. Can't throw it quite far enough, and it is now vulnerable. Your turn, Kane.
So I got no. What's your ruling on material cost again for spells?
Fuck it.
Oh, okay. So can I just greater restorate myself?
Fuck yeah, you can.
Yay!
That's actually no. This is one of the first times it fucking comes in.
Why is there a spell save these? What did I? Whatever.
You can reduce the target's exhaustion level by 1 or end one of the following.
And
Yep, you
that was
just
at least reduced to
you
2.
reduce the severity to 2.
Yeah.
I think that means that you only have disadvantage on all saving throws, and yeah, because
Alright.
it's a level 2 wound now. So Mercuse's fire just like grips a bunch of the shards of debris impaling you and pulls them out and incinerates them. And the same flames are like licking at your wounds and healing some of them.
He's gonna coughing up a little more blood.
Sarkic is like watching in equal parts awe and horror.
Yeah. Ain't really nothing new for me.
Here, I thought you were just hitting things with your sword.
Well, if I could, that would be the course of action at the moment, but does not seem to stay still.
You doing anything else?
I'm trying to look through my bonus actions at the moment, and I'm not sure I can do much. So
Alright, Sarkic's gonna load up another boom boom.
yeah, unfortunately, I only had one more blessing in the tank, so I don't think a 10 would save that anyways.
Would not. The shell just ricochets off of a tree in the distance and buries itself in the ground before exploding. And now we move to Amalia.
So remind me, do I stay in negative grid points, or do I just go to 0?
You go to 0. Alright, Amalia, so you have a resilient sphere around you that costs you nothing in the body of someone that you recognize because this child is a part of who you are intimately now, just like every other inhabitant of this place. And I would like a charisma saving throw to see if you lose your sense of identity.
Holding that one in the back pocket.
Yep. This is a very heavy weight that you have asked for.
That's true. So let me just check something real quick.
You have advantage,
we're good.
I believe? Yeah, because you still have mental
Yes, we're
barrier. It's helping a lot. It's almost like
Yeah.
it's repelling the presence of all these other consciousnesses, just banging on the door.
Charisma check or save doesn't actually matter. They're both 2.
It's a save.
Who cares?
20. You hold it at bay, but you also become aware of something. You are not going to be able to hold it at bay forever. This is an eventuality. You need to figure out something to do. You need to figure out how to handle this, because this chaos and the enormity of what you've just had shoved on you with no assistance. You're alone in here, and it's threatening to swallow you whole. You don't even know how to get back to your body. All you can feel is the drowning sensation and everything else, just the weight of it.
Alright. You know how we're gonna solve this? Rationalism. So, with this brief respite from Amalia being consumed by the way of the world around her, gonna close her eyes and just gonna think about what she's learned so far. She can feel everything. When Virgil was trying to leave, she could reach out and assist him in that. This child is on a consciousness that's also a part of her. Right now she's drowning and she thinks, am I only drowning because I expect to be drowning? And the world is accommodating what I think?
As you think this, you still feel the pressure in your lungs, but the impulse, the need to breathe slowly fades. You can't breathe, but it's not uncomfortable. You're not dying. You're just there.
Okay, as she floats there, she is going to reach out in front of her, and she's going to feel the water. The water is now as much a part of her as is everything else around her.
Yep.
And sort of like how she would normally manipulate magic, she is going to try and weave it together, form a sphere around her.
Roll Arcana. How large do you want this sphere?
It should give her about 5 feet in any direction.
So, as you go to create this 5-foot sphere, it manifests around you in exactly the way you want it to, but with the effortlessness that very quickly becomes apparent to you as the motion starts. You realize that not only could you swirl this water into a sphere around you, you could break this entire world into a sphere around you with exactly as much effort as this took. And had you not, realized the amount of control that was necessary, how fine the needle that you're working with is, it's a little sobering as you're now this porcelain being just manipulating the water up off of the shore. Excuse me, are you in Amalia's body or?
Both. Right now, yeah.
All right, so you're looking at both. You can do that. Are both of them doing the water sphere thing? Are all of
Yeah.
the inhabitants of this place ever doing the water sphere thing? That would be funny.
Lend me your energy.
So, the minute she realizes that everyone in this place is doing that, she is going to basically pull herself back from them. So they're not, copying her anymore.
Okay. Is that good or bad?
She doesn't want to impose herself on them. High is good.
All right. Now I feel bad that was broken into increments of thirds, but great. You do that. None of them seem particularly staggered. They still seem like they did it under their intentions, and none of them even give each other confused looks. You have very well maintained the consistency here. So you're now centralized in your body, but you can still see everything.
Okay, so what she is going to do now, so she can feel where the child is.
Yeah.
Alright, she's gonna...
second, but yeah.
Yeah, she's gonna will her main body in that direction.
Alright. You begin to move through the water at a rapid pace, up and out of it, and then almost as if you were not being transported at all, almost as if it was instantaneous. As soon as you breached the water, you are outside of the shore, looking down at the inhabitant of the sepulcher, and she is looking up at you.
Okay, so Malia is going to kneel down, look at this child, and she is going to say, "What is your name?"
And as this child understands your question and goes to respond, you also feel in your mind the comprehension that this child gets to, like the synapses firing in the same order, and you hear their name in your head before they sing it out, because it is not a word, it is a series of pitches, and her mouth does not move.
I'm going to indulge myself here.
Okay.
So, having heard this, I instinctively understand what the music means.
Mm-hmm.
Great.
This is just the language here.
Great. So rather than continue talking, Maya is going to focus on the water around her again. She's going to bring up a mass of it and begin forming it. And about a few seconds later, it's in the shape of an instrument. And she's going to use that to communicate with them.
Roll a charisma saving throw. As you finish the creation of this, your mind, just for an instant, is brought back to the single point of isolation you created so that you could live with yourself, with the cacophony of everything held at bay. And in that instant, there is a singular, just instant slam as this place tries to break it down. And we're going to move back to Cecil and those shits. Please go.
Those shits, he says.
Psycho and Cecil and Centra and Virgil. The blimp just very, very buoyantly thumps against a portion of the tower as Centra, with a lightning tether, has made sure that you do not rebound. And he gestures for everyone to get off.
Alright, so before she gets off, Sayako's gonna turn and look at Centra and be like, hey, I don't really know what's waiting for us in there, but are you ready to end this?
Has Sayako hid the, did she hide the, realization that she learned about Centra's, heart?
She's been trying to be delicate about it. But she's gonna approach him and say, I know you got thrown into all of this, but you have the keys to the city. These people. She waves a hand at the city itself as it's kind of not in a good state right now. But these people, for better or for worse, their lives are on your shoulders.
He turns to face the wreckage, staring off over the edge of this massive tower rising miles and miles above everything else. And he takes a deep inhale and then slowly starts to exhale, and he says, yeah, I don't know what the hell's going on, but I think I should probably stay out here and try to mitigate this. I've been avoiding it. It's like he holds up a hand and looks at it. Where's Cecil?
Cecil is a little bit further away. I'm assuming we're on the tower, not on the blimp right now.
Yeah.
Alright. Cecil is a little bit further away, kind of just staring off into the pseudo-wreckage of Nostos. Seemingly deep in thought.
Centra just glances at Cecil as he's talking to you, Sayako, before looking back out at the rest of Nostos. Yeah, I'm pretty confused, but that's been par for the course for the past couple of hours, and I'm... He just kind of like smiles. There was some weird shit happening right before I woke up here anyways. It's not that much of a... Not that much of a shift in intensity, if you will. But if I can really affect this place, like I've very delicately been trying to, maybe I can keep this from getting worse. I don't think that that's really going to be possible if I go in to talk to whatever piece of work is in there. That said, before we split up, it seems his mind is set on it. Before we do split up, he places a hand over the very bright, glowing point of light in the center of his chest. What? I don't recognize you, but there's just a little bit of recognition when you look at me, and not me, not my face, but this. What
She's
is
gonna
it?
close her eyes and she's gonna zealous.
He just raises both of his eyebrows and shakes his head slightly as if that's supposed to mean something to him.
I came to this place looking for it.
Oh.
That's why I want you to meet someone once this is all over with.
He extends a hand to shake yours. Well, then I'll be extra careful if I'm not allowed to die out here. That means you better be extra careful in there. Virgil's kind of a dumbass, but he'll watch your back.
She takes the hand. Her time in Canaan making her pretty familiar with the gesture. She does a sort of lopsided grin as she gives it a firm shake. She's like, well, I'm not one to just go quietly into the night, so best of luck to both of us.
He nods, and then he walks over to Cecil, and
I was just gonna say something really quick.
Okay.
Is in the background, I think how this was posited was that Cecil was like partially in the background of the shot, and they shake hands, and there's that there's that sweet send off, and I think like in the background we just kind of see like Cecil kind of like almost collapse, but then like catch himself with his hands, like legs kind of dragging, but like Centra like turns around just as he's like trying to recoup. Before like looking back, like kind of like when like you catch your dog doing something they shouldn't. He's just like, slippery.
he walks over.
Or the after effects.
It looks like he was gonna come over with like a you know, to be like the fucking shitty, cheesy, like, be careful in there, bro, and like slugs your shoulder. But as he gets closer, like, there's just this sneering smile and kind of like not condescending brow furrow, but a competitive one, as he raises a finger and just zaps you a little bit, like on the shoulder, and he says, "You stop acting weird. Just fucking handle yourself in there."
Cecil takes one grit point and looks at him with like, he looks so tired. He looks so tired. Like body of years tired. Like just kind of like stares at Centra, and then like his vision feels almost blurry as he just looks back at the city past him before putting a hand on his shoulder, and like Centra can kind of feel him using him as a vague brace before he just kind of nods and smiles. Says, yeah.
Yeah, I think the competitive smile goes away a little bit into a look of genuine concern, and he's like, actually, stop acting weird. What's going on with you?
What do you mean?
He looks over his shoulder at Sayako and he says, I guess they're both kind of dumbasses right now.
Yeah, that's kind of the general vibe I've been getting.
In
We'll handle it.
fairness to Cecil here, that might be the after effects of the haste serum I've given him.
It's hey Virgil.
I don't think it's been an
make it-
hour.
Hey Virgil, make an insight check. DC 1.
Pog?
Well, I don't have negative DC, so negative insight.
Go ahead, roll.
But hey, maybe a crit. Get even more info.
Yeah.
23.
I think that was like ever since Cecil woke up that one time, him sitting down at the couch in Lagoon was the first time you've seen him resting. He's been working like a machine like this whole time. There hasn't been a period of break. From now, since the A Factory, since this, he surprisingly, it's probably nothing chemical outside of his brain. The fact that he hasn't actually managed to do a rest yet.
Well, the time for rest will be afterwards. You'll be fine. Just keep up with the big hitting and let's kick this guy's ass real quick.
Yeah,
First
also,
off, you can't use machine. That's their word.
Also, stay alive, Cecil, because Virgil sure ain't gonna be the one explaining to me what happened between then and now. That's your job, alright? And he moves over to the ledge and just raises his arms, palms up, and he takes a deep inhale. Okay, alright, let's not fuck this up. And a lot of the destruction seems to slow and kind of halt. And then buildings start to restructure themselves, first in really small ways, but then gradually becoming larger and larger, and these glistening, very visible beads of sweat start pouring out of Sentra's flesh bits as his face is locked in concentration, and you guys proceed into the tower.
Before that, actually, really quick.
Pog?
Cecil watches this, and maybe it's not a glint of competitiveness, as he's just like, you just kind of hear him mumbling like, oh, you're doing it for them. And I would like to use Fragment of White to convert my grit points into effort points.
What?
Alright. That's cool. Sure. How many grit points do you have?
Eric, I love you. You gotta put some sort of limit to this.
Well, I've got 51.
51.
And I was thinking maybe how much is an effort point, or would it be hit die? What would it be?
I think
basically I want the what this means thematically is just like it's the equivalent of like a dire action in a mech I gotcha. In like Bean Saber.
So just because I don't want this to be viable, but I'm gonna let you do it, I'll say you can get 2 by expending all of your grit points.
Can I get 1 for half?
Yeah.
Alright. That's 26, 25 for 1 effort.
Round up. Always round up.
Okay. Nice. Great, yeah, alright.
Round up.
Can I have a short
damage.
Hey, can I have a short rest?
If you guys want to stick up here for an hour. It looks like Sentra is averting the damage, so time
I think,
doesn't seem as sensitive.
Great. I think Cecil does in fact like just take a couple of seconds.
A short rest is an hour.
I thought a short rest was like 10 minutes.
No, it's an hour.
No,
That's hilarious.
It's an hour. And we do not have an hour to afford.
We do not.
Alright, never mind then.
Okay.
Great, yeah.
You march up the stairs, and as you come into the very large chamber where most of you were, actually I think all of you were when you talked to Arnold, you see the massive alembic, and it is no longer full of lightning. In fact, it is very dim, but there is still a spark inside of it. And drawing sigils all over this room, and having drawn plenty already, is Cyrus. And he looks over at you over his left shoulder, and then he's probably like a good 350 feet away with the grandiosity of this chamber. The sigil he's writing in front of himself, he stops and he just raises a hand at the elbow and gives you guys a little wave before getting back to it.
Cecil kind of does return the wave in like a yeah, fuck it.
And then we are going to go to Kaiju Fight. It's your turn, Catherine. Beat the shit out of it. Your Disintegrate just came back. You have a Conduit charged. And hold on, before you take your action, Kane, Sarkic looks at you, like with a very serious look on his face, and then he gestures for you to help him with a cannon, and he starts turning it towards the Tesla coil.
Alright, Kane
Like
helps out.
Aim trajectory. Pog, your turn, Catherine.
Alright. So can I can't see the thing right now?
Oh no, you can. It just bursted out at you and launched a bunch of shit that missed. It's right in
Alright.
front of you. It's medium
Well, I'm
range,
gonna go
so you have
back
to...
into Helix form
Okay.
and Electric Hug.
You don't want to disintegrate?
Oh, I have Disintegrate again?
Yeah, you got the 6.
Okay.
You have to... I'll do it. Don't worry about it. 10d6 plus 40. Yes! Alright.
Bam!
Disadvantage on the saving throw. It fails. It would have failed both. So
Got a 2 and a 5.
slither forward, and the Umberskeen just fucking collapses back out into the serpent form as it rears up like a cobra, but instead of striking lightning fast, another beam of energy just... And Kane, you and Sarkic feel the roof underneath you rumble as the very foundation of the factory is just burnt through and atomized by the disintegration laser that is going straight through the center of this thing. It is barely holding itself together. It is at fucking, what is that, 16 out of 18 total health ticks. And Sentra's doing a ton of good shit for the Nostos Jericho stability, and nothing has gotten in the way of the Umberskin connection. So it is your guys' turn. You want to fire the cannon?
Yeah.
1d20 plus your strength modifier plus your proficiency, please. With advantage, because Sarkic is helping you.
Alright. So... That's it. My proficiency is 4, so 1d20 plus 9. Oh.
Very fun.
Ay. I think it's advantage.
We got any rolls? Oh, never mind, that hits. Pog. Roll 10d8.
And 8. A little below average, whatever.
The shell impacts the coil, just sailing perfectly through a few gaps that were in the debris of the wall that the coil was behind. And lightning just begins to disconnect from the coil as the engines powering it are horribly disrupted, and explosions start ringing out in the tower, and the spatial visibility starts to condense and be absorbed as the tower itself begins to turn into an event horizon, and you feel a slight bit of gravity start pulling you towards it before it just blinks out of existence and the tower's not there anymore. And Sarkic just fucking blinks at that like that was not what he expected, but he says to you, Kane, just like leaning over slightly, something felt a little fishy about that, and I hope shooting it was a good idea. He offers a fist bump.
Gain fist bumps.
Alright, I'm gonna go try and get the last hit in on this thing. And then he turns and he books it this way. It is surprised at this attack. He gets advantage. 8 plus 11 hits of 19 Pog damage. Is unarmed. Great, he doesn't kill it, but he does punch it.
Perfect opportunity for Kane to steal the kill for the glory of Mercury.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna say that you shot the cannon as your bonus action. It was
Hey!
it was an item.
Alright. So Kane's gonna just run up and Zeki throw it, I guess.
So
It's that close.
Sarkic's Superman punches it, and Kane, you just you would have to teleport to get in range.
That is my bonus action, though.
What's that? Do you see that weird text on your character sheet saying you have an extra bonus action this turn? Where'd that come from?
Alright then. For my last point of effort of the day, he's going to teleport up close, and then with his action to attack, use a Kikoro.
Alright, Catherine and Adante, I want you both to figure out how this thing dies. Like, what does the Umbra Skein... What does the Umbra Skein do, and how does Kane, just with his teleporty katana-ness, work off of it and murder this horrible shadow crustacean?
Alright, well, the Umbra Scheme put some extra oomph into it because it did the conduit form, and there's, like, this whine that, you know, like, almost like awful, like screeching nails almost. And it gets louder and louder, and the Umbra Schem's light kind of shifts to a bluish sort, and then it just... and the beam of light is like it's basically almost like an after image that's kind of like almost kind of cat double. Well, that's not good word.
No, I got it. It's like a laser, but the explosion hasn't happened. Right?
But and just and the crab things, you know, it's briefly almost outlined in the sort of bluish, and then there's like an implosion right where it hits.
And
leaves a smoking hole.
I will roll the dice. Do I happen to have advantage, or is it just
you hit? Do hit? It's
okay.
It's surprise. You have advantage. It has 19 AC.
Can I have a crit? Can I try to roll for a crit since I have a good crit range?
Yeah, sure.
With advantage, you said?
Yeah.
Yay! Do I get a crit? The answer is yes.
Wow! Holy shit!
Wow!
Nice.
Thanks, crit range of 18. So
there's
don't I get some sort of surge on that?
There's a smoking laser hole just fucking blazing in the midst of this thing. Do you get some sort of surge on your crits?
Does remember Entropic the Hero?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I think roll variable damage.
That too. I do have to do that.
Wait, hold on.
I know we didn't. Did we forget that?
It might not
I have
be.
brought it up. I just haven't crit yet. Oh shucks. I know I have brought it up, but I just haven't. We haven't had a crit yet with it, so I'm just gonna roll that 1d4 for the variable damage.
All right, that's esoteric. Nice. So this is force damage. So it sounds like a lightsaber.
Yeah. It's gonna be a lightsaber just out of nowhere to. What would be like a dramatic horizontal slash against the landscape, sort of. You know how those kind of work?
Yeah. And it just starts to like smokingly devolve into a pile of goop that just seeps into the ground. And then you guys feel like this pressure on you. As far in the distance, a glint of light, almost like the gaze of somebody on a tower of some kind, remembers that you guys are all the way down here and was paying attention to the kaiju fight. Roll a charisma saving throw. You can choose to fail. Central is trying to teleport you.
All of us?
Yeah.
Alright.
Just because he's wary of it, he's gonna roll.
Okay.
I'm gonna roll. Hey, don't I have
Let's see
disadvantage?
what I
Since
get.
I'm still
You
injured?
do have disadvantage, yeah.
Okay, we'll roll one more then.
What's up? Oh,
Alright, I failed my Christmas save.
So
You have your reroll.
all
Wait,
right.
no, you
So
don't.
17.
what's up?
we feel the ground shaking.
You, Sayako? No, you guys don't feel anything. You're in the tower.
Okay, but
It's
Centra's trying
8:20.
to-
You can have mine, Shawnee.
Hold on.
Well, I
what's
mean-
up, Robert?
Centra's trying to teleport us.
No, Centra's trying to teleport the people that weren't at the tower to the tower, like in your guys' party.
Okay.
Yeah, okay,
Alright.
so it doesn't really matter.
Sorry, I misinterpreted what was going on.
You're good. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
There's a lot.
Does the Umberskeen come with me though?
So Catherine, you are inside the Umberskeen, and you're just like, you just shot a huge laser, and then you're standing on a ledge outside the tower, and there's a dude that you might have seen before. Oh yeah, he was the dude that Cecil like went in and rescued. And also, I think you met him at the Tiered Gardens, and and you worked on him, and he was like blown apart for a second, and there were plant bits,
Yep.
but there's no plant bits anymore. And oh, Kane's here with you, and yeah, 21 fails by the way.
That's 17 failed, by the way.
Oh,
Never
17
mind
fails by the way, and it's just lingering on the scene. The Umberskeen like raises its head into the sky, and the cube just lets out this triumphant, just electronic noise, like a dial-up sound.
Like a Reggie's from the Pokemon anime.
And Sarkic just like lets his shoulders slump and looks back at the tower that completely fucking disappeared. And then at the Umberskeen, he's like, "Oh, if you're
It
sticking
was
around,
worth it!
If you're sticking around, I guess I might as well get a closer look." And he begins to approach the Umberskeen, which coils up in a very animal-like fashion and
Am I in or out?
powers off. You are outside of the Umberskeen.
Okay, so yeah, I pat it on the side and like,
Oh no, you're like
We're in the
you were
tower now.
teleported way far away,
oh,
like to
Yeah, I
to
was
one of the other
teleported out.
parties. Exactly.
alright.
In fact, like, are you like stricken by grief that you're now way far from the Umberskeen?
Yes!
Kane's gonna grumble that he called winner and then just immediately collapse in a sit on the floor.
No end to the boss music today.
Eh?
So, fuck, never mind. My brain's tiny. Amalia! You just succeeded on a charisma saving throw. And you have an instrument with which to communicate to these people.
Great. Okay, so when last
What?
Booker's like knocking on the door, trying to, you know,
Yes, the sepulcher is an ever-present deluge trying to consume you. Because there's too much all the time.
No wonder that other guy throws it.
all right. So if there's too much, There's too much that I don't understand that I need to start like narrowing down stuff that I do. So, I am going to. So the girl's already told me her name, but it's just that we can't pronounce it.
Yep.
Great. Okay.
You can project thoughts into it, and she will understand. And you will also inherently understand, like, what it's saying to you, which will be translated. It's just that their names are sing-songy.
Yeah. So I just want to make an effort to, like, communicate as they do.
Okay.
Yeah. Alright, so I am going to ask what do her people call themselves?
What do they call themselves?
The choir?
They call themselves the Kurodia.
I'll take it.
It's choir in Greek.
That's why I said I'll take it, because I knew that.
Hey, is Greek canon?
Yep. You're in Greece. Place called
Of
Greece.
course. And
Symphony would have been better, Caro, but whatever. It's canon now.
oh well.
Skeleton Symphony on
And do you understand what I am?
No,
God.
she does not understand what you are at all, but she can sense that you are not there to hurt her.
Okay. Does she know what the prayer is?
No. How much do you think about him? Everything? All the imagery? What he looks like?
Yeah.
Yeah, no recognition at all.
In fact, as I'm saying this, just the water just like is forming visual aids.
Okay.
It's actually just surprising her, like how distinctly she's doing it now. It's just like just looks over and there's like a water version of the verse there, and just I did kind of mean to do that, but she sort of flicks it away. It's like, do you know who is who's the leader of your people? Do you know where they are?
She conveys that she is free, and that she is her leader, and in the same way everyone is their own. This place is a little bit of a perfect democracy, just like idealized.
She's actually gonna smile at that. Alright then.
And then you, as this is being conveyed to you, as like every aspect of their culture is flooding into you, there is a clear schism between people that are like her and people that are meant for something else, but are still very much a part of this society. And the best word to describe them are journeyers.
And what do the journeyers do?
They look for something. And where do you think the wind chime is manifested on your form? Is it jewelry?
Yeah. So if you remember, like in Amalia's original thing, there were just a bunch of beads in her hair.
Yeah.
One of them, like, it used to just be like a costume bead. It's now the wind chime.
She moves like to the structure that was close by that reminded you of your home. And she disappears inside it for a second, and as she does, you can see the entirety of its interior and what she's getting, and you understand automatically that these people have a deep knowledge and reverence for this wind chime. As she brings it out and gestures to, there's just a small carving of the same wind chime in your hair with adornments of seashells, and she holds it up and then points to the one on your head. They're looking for this.
So at that, Amalia is going to smile and she's going to sort of reach up her hand to it, and she's going to look down and she's going to say, "Well, it looks like you found it. The question is, what are you supposed to do with it once you've found it?"
There's a moment of incredulity as she begins to understand your implication. And then a little bit of confusion as well as awe as she shakes her head slightly. We've never thought about it. It's a compulsion. It's why that there's a schism. Many of us ignore it, but we still recognize its importance, and so we laud those who make it their purpose, the journeyers. We don't know what it is. We just know that it's a part of us. Roll a charisma saving throw. Once again, you are reminded.
Hey, I'm gonna re-roll that. No, I'm joking.
You are reminded of the pounding and incredibly pressured force that is just choking on your little bubble. And we're gonna pull away to everyone who cares going up to Lazarus. As you all reemerge, well, all of you except for whoever's not going, you all reemerge into the same room that Sayako, Cecil, and Virgil had, probably a few moments prior. Before you get there, what are you three doing?
Which three?
Cecil, Virgil, and Sayako.
I think Cecil just kind of like in between all of this, like all the scene switching, has stepped down and is like kind of like casually walked up to this Lazarus fellow.
Well, my bad, Cyrus, but it's clearly
Cyrus
Lazarus.
fellow. This Lazarus fellow, shut up.
You here to bother me? Oh, rescuer.
Sorry. What you doing?
Sayako's gonna also approach. She's actually going to look at the scrawling writing that's gone on in this chamber.
Roll Arcana. He looks at you, Cecil, with there's this very, very faint glint of contempt in his eyes that is very impersonal and something that you realize is there all the time, constantly. And the rest of his gaze is one of like happy reunion as he says, "Well, you know how it is. The old ball and chain. Do this and this, or we'll have you gutted." He smiles. "Except I am unfortunately my own ball and chain. Just can't hide. Can't hide. Can't escape. Can't seem to fight against these impulses." As he turns back to the sigil and begins to continue scrawling it.
Well, suppose the fact that we got this close means that there's something in the way if I were to, start to, if I were to do something like kick sand in your face or something.
You're saying you don't want me to do what I'm doing to Nostos. Simply put, right?
Generally, yeah. I think.
Roll persuasion.
Great. Persuasion. I'm gonna push that for fun.
Okay.
We start, 19. That's good roll. That's really high. That's almost a 20.
He raises his hand to continue at the sigil after like sort of dismissing the line of conversation, and then you say this and it pauses. And his brow furrows, and he turns towards you, and he says, "You know, I miss that. The feeling of having people that I can't bear to lose, and places that I presume are timeless and infinite. But the world is a much harsher place. All right, I'll leave Knossos alone for now. I'll save it for last if you want me to."
What? Just like that?
Sayako is probably 5 or 6 feet behind, and he sort of glances at her before saying, "It's got to go eventually, but yes, of course, this man has saved a good person's life several times in Cyrus, in Clandel. I would not be the man that I pride myself in being if I didn't respect those wishes. And if you want, I can even point you in the right direction of detaching your friend, so when I do have to collapse this place, you can keep him."
If you could.
Alternatively, you don't collapse this place and erase the civilization.
Well, he's already bloody said that he has to.
He blinks and turns to more solidly face everyone, and he says,
Alright, so just a thing. If Cecil meant that, I'm always going to play him at poker the next time she's back.
He says, "I, dear, expected a little more unity from you."
We're not a very cohesive group. We're better in pairs.
"Well, at the very least, you're photogenic, so pardon my,
What's a photo?
gives a little bow, "pardon my false assumption. How about we debate then, my cat-eared friend?" And he abandons the sigils entirely and begins to move towards you, Virgil. Sayako, what you got from the Arcana check is that there's not a lot, but there is divine magic being put into these circles, and it's being put into these circles in the exact portion that divine magic exists in relation to the other schools of magic. Whoever this guy is, he is fucking insanely competent. Wildly.
She's putting on a pretty bold face, and in fact, I think her indignation at him wanting to erase the civilization overrides the fact that she otherwise would be very kind of nervous about this. But her brow is kind of fixed into a furrow right now.
So he comes to you, Virgil. You obviously don't want me killing the number of people that would be killed when this place collapses. And I get that. I do. It's a horrible thing that has to happen. But my compatriots want a much worse thing. And he gives you a smile. Do you know what the Anastasic monarchs are?
They keep popping up in our journey throughout. In our journey enough, yes.
The term, perhaps. And if they have their way, then yes, they will literally pop up in your journey. And
Oh, great, that's what they want.
I'm not a great big fan of that. So, yeah, a lot of people have to die. Deal with it.
Cecil's there, right?
Cecil
Yep.
is there, yeah.
Right. Okay. So Cecil just hears a voice. It's like, all right, he's calling bullshit.
Oh, Veldana.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Veldana, you are inside of Cecil's mind.
It's a busy place.
Yeah. You just kind of see a tally in like the side view of your like as long as you're in there, you just see like him counting exits. As he just kind of like looks at the sigils and looks back at Lazarus. Like you are hearing like his muscles scream to grab a weapon. But he's currently just like he's waiting, biding his time, looking at all of this before saying, you know, don't know much about this Anastasic Monarch business. Hardly know about this Tenebrae business, personally, if I do say something. I do, however, generally speaking, know when I hear fiction. And I'm noticing there's a lot of things gapping in your explanations. There's a lot of holes. And I don't mean that as a bad thing. I mean, God knows I can't explain a damn thing. But when it comes to a civilization being smothered, it does tend to help in a debate to be specific.
He nods. I agree. I'll go into it further. And I trust that you won't let me forget. Is there anything else you wanted me to address, Virgil?
Yes, what was it? Oh, yes, that's right. You shot my friend.
Which one?
The one with the cool ass gear.
Talking about Arnold.
Arnold. I heard his name was Arthur, but yes, that one.
He furrows his brow and there's a sneer and he says, I didn't shoot him with anything but his own bullets. He was the one trying to kill me.
Well, I can't particularly blame him, interjects Cecil. I mean, I'd assume that he wants this place, staying put as
Safe.
much as we do. Yeah.
Specificity. He sits down cross-legged, kind of turning himself so that you are at the same angle as Virgil, Cecil, as he comes back to your request. And it's
Hey, question.
What's up? It's at this point that everyone else comes in.
Does Lazarus's hair have a Leon Kennedy-esque like side to it, or is it all like flat on like how short's it?
I think his hair's like a little longer than that, and it's pulled back into like a scholar's ponytail.
Okay, so there's no okay. Because what I was gonna say is something Lazarus noticed is that, if his hair was forwards on either side of his eye, Cecil would be on that side. But regardless, continuing.
All right, CIA agent. And yeah, it is Cyrus.
A little bit.
So yeah, Kane if you choose to, Catherine if you choose to, now is when you would come in.
All right. Well, yeah.
You sure?
The two of you
Cecil.
come in.
pulls out like a damp, like hand-rolled cigarette, looks at it, doesn't have a lighter, like tries to use fragment of light as like a lighter, doesn't work. He just kind of like puts it back in his pocket and leans on Death in the West.
And go ahead and read that out, Stuart.
We killed the monarchs like 50 years ago. Pledged them to death with an entire plane of existence. And if he's saying that didn't happen, that is a damning falsehood, and I love words.
Cecil blinks a few times, and I think Lazarus notices before he's like, "Oh, Shadow Patron plane. What's Veldana? What stupid woman? In my head has mentioned that
Entirely go fuck yourself.
that I should entirely go fuck myself, but also that she killed one of the Anastatic monarchs, if not all of them, a while ago. Apparently,
So as the two additional people come in, Cyrus's body taps the ground, and with a poof of smoke, just this wooden plain chair appears underneath him that he is now sitting cross-legged in.
Cecil like kind of like
What?
like
Wait!
kind of applauds a little bit.
And then he like reaches his toe down and taps it. How many? 5 more times, and each of you have a chair as well. Yes. Well, first, let me express my newfound interest in the fact that the Paragon of the Shadow Plane is apparently affiliated with you. Never took you for the warlocky type, my clandestine friend. He nods towards you, Cecil.
I'm really not.
Oh, well, I guess my apologies then. A bit insufferable, that one. But she is a Stasalem, and the way she earned hers was...
I thought you were just gonna go straight into like the Hawkwood, not through will, but through sheer might alone. No, but
she was actually one of the accompaniments of Tybalt Bronze Scale, as they did indeed assist a few of the Dodri in laying low Parthern and Megiddo.
Does Kane say anything?
He gestures for everyone else to sit down. Come on, we're having a good talk over here. No need to keep a distance.
Yeah, well, I
trust
was
these
busy
chairs about
fighting
as far as I
monsters
can
in my
throw you.
Umbra scheme, and all of a sudden I find myself whisked here, so I'm a bit...
Just like fucking, I think a part of the wall like twists into a frown that looks a lot like Centra's face, and it says, "I figured they'd need help. Don't fucking bitch at me." And then it flattens out.
Wait, that was you?
well, I've done my part. I've started the dialogue. I'm not sticking around. I'm gonna go upstairs with Centra. Enjoy yourselves, everyone. Don't break out into a gunfight or whatever weapons you have at your disposal.
Ta-ta, Cecil. Stay safe.
Cecil just kind of like was about to flip Lazarus off, but then like he sees the middle finger go up a little bit, but then it just slowly like breaks back into a wave before he wanders off.
I think he chuckles. And tell him he's doing a good job. The rumbling's gotten a lot more bearable.
Oh, hey, guys. You were about to tell me what was going on. No, wait, you weren't telling me what was going on before we ran off, and I had to fight a thing in a number scheme. And now there's more that's going on.
I thought I heard that cackling. Good to see you too, Kavi.
Lazarus just conjures a table with a tea kettle next to him and starts pouring himself some tea. Is this going to take a minute?
I do not like how confident you are right here.
That's because you think we're enemies.
You
Are we enemies?
shot my friend!
Why
We're
are you
trying
calling...
to kill these people.
Oh, back to that. Yes, you'll forgive me.
No, you won't.
No, I don't think I will.
You'll... poor phrase on my part. I'm not... There's no real justifying it, and I'm not going to pretend that I haven't gone through severe mental conditioning to get to the point where I've convinced myself that this is okay, but certain things must be done so that other things can continue existing. And,
Well, let's
wait,
say
wait,
we have our
wait.
lovely discussion.
Are we
He'll-
talking
Get
about
into a
things like
fight,
destroying cities?
win.
He holds up a finger to you, Virgil, and he says, I'm not going to change the subject, but are you one of the divine children of Izuni?
Sayako tilts her head at a certain angle and very cautiously regards fucking Lazarus, and she's like, "What of it?"
What are you doing over here? And how did you get here? Never mind. You're right. Too much information. I would do horrible things with it. Kill plenty more people. Probably people you're friends with. You know. He looks back at you, Virgil. All due respect. What were you going to say?
So we're going to have a nice, peaceful discussion, and you expect us to leave after it, don't you?
No. I am assuming I'm going to be the one leaving, actually, because I promised Cecil that I would save this place for last.
Okay, save it for last. Yes. Or you could do it never, because you'll be dead.
I'm going to explain a few things. I will remind you,
Finally, someone!
even though Cecil is not here, I am going to honor his wish of being entirely truthful. I am one of four. One of the four leaders of the Tenebrae. I am at the head of the Sect of Prophecy, and I know what's going to happen if certain conditions are met. And my three partners are working very hard to meet those conditions. Try as I have to convince them otherwise. It is true that the Anastastic monarchs are killed in the way that things such as them can be killed. And that is a little bit of an unfortunate circumstance that we find ourselves in. For, yes, we are not being cleansed off of this earth every 500 years, as was the case for however many eternities beforehand. But it also means that we cannot understand why they were there. We cannot learn about them at all. Are they are they purposeless? Did they exist out of sheer force of will? This world hinges on a very precarious sense of balance, and it is that sense of balance that the Vastend created these places. Well, the beings that these places spiraled out from. And that is an inherent nature of the world. There were 2 Anastastic monarchs, and now there is 0. Which should be okay. But unfortunately is not. Because, you see, it turns out that things are not that simple. And my compatriots, they have desires. And these desires, well, affiliate with these more complex natures of the world in a way that would necessitate the monarch's return. Part of that is colliding Nostos and Anonime and the Sepulchre, and I sense that those are the only ones you know about, so I won't go spoiling any fruit for you, but...
No, do tell, go spoil.
Alright, roll persuasion. I'm just stalling for time while I open one note.
Alright.
Yeah, you get it. I just have to wait for it to... bring. Do tell. Well, there are the 6 above Canaan, and then there are the 6 above this place, Nartzareth. And then there is the negative and the positive. The Sepulchre is the negative. To run through them. No, I don't want that. There is Antikythera, Brahmanda, this place, Nostos, Heophon, and Anonym and Absolt. Sepulchre is the negative, Vusult is the positive, and then the plains presiding over Canaan, Libera, Vonos, Horizontem, Interitus, Estimatus, and Litore. You writing that down?
Yes.
Virgil's already writing it in his little pharmacy pad.
Cecil actually comes back downstairs looking grumpy.
Ian's like kind of just sleeping while sitting.
A chair poofs into existence for Cecil. Welcome back. There's tea. Do you wanna read the conversation for the recording?
No, fuck him.
Please, it's funny. You don't have to. It's fine. You don't have to. It's okay.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Anyways, I think no. Cecil pulls up the chair, sits down. Fragment of white turns into a cup. As he's like, yeah, I can do it too, bitch. No, no. He takes some tea and like leans back and looks at the sigils, crosses a leg.
All right. So, he recaps the details that you sensed he omitted when you were gone.
Yeah.
You don't understand any of them, but you're glad they're there.
Yeah, they're for Valdana anyways.
He raises his teacup to Sayako and says, I don't think I'm going to be able to resolve our moral conflicts anytime soon. However, I do want to say that I'm still quite interested in why exactly you're here. If there's information you think you're willing to give me, I would be enthused.
That yourself, you'd only use it to kill more people. Why would I do that?
That was a joke.
Yeah, Cecil. I was about to say Cecil like looks over, and I'm assuming that part was also added to like the info dump. Where Cecil's like, yeah.
Also, where's the tanned one with the bandana and the swords?
Currently occupied.
He knocks on his chair, and another small table appears next to him with a dish of water in it, and he swirls his finger in it, and he sees Amalia talking to the porcelain child. He raises his eyebrows in interest. Yeah.
Well, yeah. So, question. You said you had three other people doing the same thing that you're up to? Or not the same thing, excuse me. Doing something worse, correct?
Of similar office with their own designations, yes.
And you want to do this before they can do theirs, yeah?
I have to.
Yeah. Are they, in a classical sense, immortal?
Well, if they're as strong as I am, basically.
And so that means you're classically immortal, yeah?
He just kind of like nods.
Yeah, okay. So if we kill them, they don't get to do the thing that they're up to. Is there some sort of impending doom? If they don't do what they get done, yeah. It's like a race to save the world, except it's increasingly shittier.
He furrows his brow and he says, "Oh my God." Excuse me for the obscenity.
Yeah.
I guess you're right. There is an alternative. We can just go against those that are that don't know I'm acting against them yet. I'll give you that much. But Unfortunately, with how the Tenebrae functions, I can give you next to nothing on them. Can't tell you their names even.
Yeah, I got that one before from Cyrus. Alright, fair enough.
He scratches his beard. However, I like that. It's just that it's inherently risky. So I'll tell you what. I'm not going to stop this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go around, and he gestures to the sigils, and I'm going to put those in all of these places. And I'm going to leave just the fuse out, so that nothing will be wrong there until I give the word. And then they'll all die at the same time. And if we can figure out a way to go against my compatriots before that's needed, I'll take it all down.
Good enough for me.
Virgil buries his face in his hands, rubs his forehead and his temples. All this time of you being against it, and you never thought of doing this beforehand?
You are a fool. Of course I cannot contend with 3 others of my exact strength. Are you an idiot?
I've been called that a lot today.
Also, why do I get the sense that you lot have lost one boss today and are picking up another? He scratches his chin.
Approximately 2 whateverths of us have lost a boss, technically. I'm not picking up another one. I am trying to figure out a way that this is not inevitable. So, with that in mind, sounds like a deal.
He nods to himself and pours some more tea.
Forgive me, just a second
All
here.
right.
Why can't we just kill you and stop it all? And stop the other phases?
Cecil just kind of looks over and is just like, has like a hand cupped over his mouth, not in like a gasp, but like just like it's like he's peeling off his face. And I think like fragment of what stops being a cup and turns into a pillow, which he immediately turns to his right away from everyone and just screams into. Before it turns.
See, I love the narrative power it gives you.
I hate it.
For turning back, like it turns back into a cup and he pours himself another glass of tea.
I like to imagine the liquid just spilled all into his fucking lap.
Oh yeah, it did.
Lazarus just like smiles to himself and he says, shedding one boss for another. What a tired trope. And if anyone else would like to say anything, go ahead. But if not, you may forever hold your peace as the session concludes.
Sayaka's gonna speak up, and she's like, "Are we supposed to take you at your word about that?"
Well, that's... I did very much lie to the bandana one. Which is why I was asking why she wasn't here. I was kind of looking forward to apologizing. It's just that I really needed to get to the Windchime chamber. As for taking me at my word, no, you absolutely should not take me at my word. But the alternative is the unfortunate solution, which is violence, or as I like to call it, the failure of communication. Yeah.
All right, but sometimes you need to fail to communicate.
The thing is, it wouldn't work. You'd kill Cyrus. You wouldn't kill me.
But not you.
And even if you did, it wouldn't die. Like, I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
I heard that one before.
Did you end up like killing them?
No, we're the ones who for a period of time couldn't be killed.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh yes, right.
Yeah.
Good old
Well,
prayer.
Immortality and all that. Yeah. Not gonna contest that, but I will contest that if it involves someone else, I suppose. My logic's just as skewed as everyone else's, but you know.
Is Kane asleep?
Yeah, he's still kind of just tired.
Lazarus just looks at Kane, takes a sip from his cup, and he says, Terribly ironic that I was explaining to these people what you did. Could have done a little bit of the lifting.
That guy likes to hit things. Can't say I'm surprised.
Yeah, I guess he does have like a connection to the shadow plane, so Valdana's just gonna like mentally prod him.
Speaking of which, actually, I know session ends soon, surely. But Cecil kind of prods mentally at Valdana. It's like, can you come out for a sec? Just to join the conversation a bit.
It would be dangerous, but you could, Valdana.
It's Valdana.
Right. You come out. Say go to bed.
Either way,
Hi,
Kane wakes immediately the frick up.
hi is good.
Alright, everything's fine. What do you look like?
So Valdana is basically entirely unchanged from the last time that Kane saw her. Still the elf, still like same size, still wearing like half a dozen extraneous items of clothing. Like there's a big fluffy hat.
Cecil just like says, she comes out of her room.
Kane, now awake, just goes, your gold's back at my place, sorry.
Right. No. She just she flips Cyrus off, and then she turns around and flips Cecil off.
Cecil just kind of nods.
Lazarus gives a wave. Hello, Valdana.
So we meet. No idea who you are.
He shrugs.
Not quite a prick, but working for a couple of them. So Valdana, would you be interested in stopping this, with some kind of what do you call it? Some more hands-on interaction. Doing some of the shadow plane stuff and all that.
You pull me out here to fight your battles for you.
Well, I suppose it's your battle as well.
Fuck, let's do it.
Yeah. Yeah. Honestly, that's almost a good place to end, I think.
Yep, that is a perfect place to end. Great session, everyone.